Hey, what's happening? It's Bill Smith. I'm a big Owen Benjamin fan. I have been for about like 6 months. I watch most of his good stuff. I know that he has disavowed the alt-right. He says that white people don't exist as a race. And he says that the only thing you should be able to group up on is, as a white person, is Christianity. Where I get confused is that he calls himself a white guy like constantly, all the time. Like his entire identity is based around being a white person, but he claims it doesn't exist as a race because Jews consider themselves to be white. Now, first of all, there's a difference. Jews are a racial group. You can look it up on Wikipedia. They have a religion called Judaism. That's what gives them kind of like shelter. They follow the Talmud as a political system, book of laws. And they're racially diverse, but they're racially distinct from Europeans and Slavic people. So Russians, Europeans are damn close. They're all Caucasian. We call them white because it's their skin color, but the Caucasian race is definitely a thing. It definitely does exist. We call it white people. So if Jews are their own race, they're definitely not white. They're definitely not Caucasian. I know there's some blend in here. You can be biracial, triracial. At some point, you get watered down to the point where it doesn't matter anymore. And this is where people hook on to like culture. They say, oh, culture, it's all about culture, it's not all about racial society. The world is founded on racial society. So I think that if multiculturalism is cancer, then ethno-nationalism has got to be the fix for that. And I'm not saying ethno-nationalism like people can't live together in the same area, but I'm saying that I don't think democracy can ever be a representative government of every human being on the planet. You know what I'm saying? There are some people who don't respect freedom. They don't respect free speech. They don't respect like Western ideals. So why would we let them run a Western nation? Jews want their own place. Jews are the only ethno-state in the world. Israel, you can't be an Israeli citizen unless you're a Jew, racially. We're not talking about Christian Zionism. Okay, we're not talking about you're really German, but you now want to convert to Judaism. They're not going to let you be a citizen in Israel for that. You have to pass a DNA check. You have to be genetically Jewish, which means you have to belong to their race, made up of 3 or 4 ethnicities, of which one of them, Owen Benjamin's grandmother, subscribed to. So Owen Benjamin's grandma was a Jew. So his dad was half Jewish, which makes Owen a quarter Jewish by way of his grandmother's side. It makes his kids each 1/8 Jew and a part Mexican because of his wife, Amy. And I don't care, whatever, fine. I don't care. Why would I care? But you got to subscribe to one or the other. Like you can't go through the world playing this double standard where you got 1 foot over in being a future citizen of Israel and then 1 foot in telling people that the white race doesn't exist. You got to pick one, right? So I'm Owen's friend. I want to be his friend. I don't believe the earth is flat. I definitely believe it's a ball. It's a globe. You're stupid if you think the earth is flat. I'm sorry. You're dumb. You're dumb. If you think the earth is flat, you're stupid. I don't think that we can get to the moon, or we couldn't get there in 1967, so I agree with him on that. I think the moon landing was probably faked. I mean, there's no way to verify it, which means that I think it's probably fake. The Van Allen belt is real. But if the earth is flat, space does not exist. Get that. Space cannot exist and the earth be flat. So pick one. Either you want to talk about NASA or you want to say the earth is flat. But you can't go mixing the two of them. I don't think that NASA tells the truth all the time. I think that they're locked in a lot of secretive stuff. But the best thing that they could do is get you to question whether or not space even exists. If NASA's trying to fool you, then that would be the ultimate con, is getting people to say the earth is flat. So don't fall for it. We're going to the moon soon, We're going to Mars after that. We might go to both of them at the same time. It's possible that we've actually had a secret space program based on Tesla technology and wireless power transmission, and maybe ships that can time slip or something. Not time slip, but like they can travel really quickly. I don't know. There's all kinds of stuff that could happen. All I know is the Earth is not flat. I've been to the coast. I've looked at the ocean from a high vantage point on a cliff, and I can tell you it absolutely has a curve in it. It's not straight. You don't need a fisheye to make that happen. Okay, the horizon curves when you look at the ocean from a cliff. You can see it with your naked eye. So I reject all that stuff, man. The Earth is a ball floating through space in an entire vacuum. A vacuum of space. All right, so let me address a couple things. Owen thinks that being on a flat Earth makes him feel special. Like God is more personalized and touching to him. God created his people. That's what he believes, and that makes him feel good. Makes him feel less lost. I don't feel like hurtling on a little ball through a vacuum of infinite space makes me less, And here's the thing. If I was God and I had to create an entire dimension, space, matter, being, whatever, I'm getting off topic here. People cannot be trusted, okay? God can't trust people. He's already had to destroy the world twice. So how could God trust one planet to be really close to another planet? He couldn't. So the ever-expanding void and unlimited galaxies and universes is the only model that life could truly work inside of. Once you get off planet, everyone else is fucked. You'll eat them. You'll invade their planet and destroy it, move on. So I think God was like, hey, let's make it so hard that in order to get to another planet, you have to be advanced to the point where you're not going to destroy the next planet you get to. That makes sense to me. Owen Benjamin doesn't look at it like that. I do. All right, so this he got his thing canned early on this one. I was watching, I was in there, I gave him some, they weren't really heckles because I like them. They're friendly jabs. He does this to other people all the time. And then someone comes along and they do it to him and he can't handle it. He has to have people censor him and ban him. So it doesn't make sense. This guy needs to be, he's never going to be a leader. He's not an alpha. He complains about this stuff all the time. He's obsessed with social hierarchy. The alphas do not even think about that. Alphas do not even consider a social hierarchy. They move in the world and people get in line behind them. He's kind of said this before too. He's always looking for help, for someone else to be his mentor or be the leader in his group. He wants to be backup. So if that's what you want in life, man, he's probably got a great worldview for you. But if you're living on 5 acres in the middle of nowhere, trying to wait out the end of the world, homeschooling your kids, stocking up on guns and ammo, that don't sound like a very good plan to me. You shouldn't go throwing stones from glass houses, telling the rest of the world they shouldn't be afraid, after you just left everything you were afraid of to carve out safety for yourself. Fuck that. All right, so what I think is funny about this is the last 30 minutes of this live stream is the good part. That's when he starts to address some of these comments. And, it's 2.5 hours long. I wanted to go watch it after it was done. But look at this. They cut it off right at 2 hours. So you can't see that last 30 minutes. I got some of it on film. But what's the point? I don't want to give this guy a hard time. If you don't want to talk about, actual real solutions to this problem, if he's okay with his kids and his grandkids fighting the war that he watched come into being, if he's okay with the mark of the beast system and complete and total slavery over humanity, while he's the one standing on the soapbox watching it happen over his left shoulder, I can't convince Owen to do anything else. You know what I'm saying? If he says that white people don't exist as a race, I can't tell him otherwise. What am I going to say? Here's the thing, though. I exist. I'm a real person. Okay? And my entire life, I've known myself as white. In my entire life, I've known People who are not white that look white, I've known them as Jews. That's what I know them as. So if we got to say white Gentile or white Jew, I'm okay with that, but there's a distinction. We just got to figure out the language. There is a race of people who are white. They're Caucasian. That's what I am. And here's the thing. If I'm not Caucasian, then Owen can tell me what I am. I don't care what Owen thinks I am. Like, you can make up a word. You can call me Fladugeldork. You know, if Bill Smith is a Fladugeldork, I'm fine with that. You know, you invent the word. You invent the word, whatever it is. But I watch Owen Benjamin do this dance where he'll do anything he can to not acknowledge that there is a race of European people, okay? And they're a race. Like, they all look the same. They all have similar values, eat a lot of the same food, you know, maybe have different cultural dishes, but they're all drinking milk. You know what I'm saying? All of them have built up a genetic ability to digest lactose. Those are white people. So I don't care what you call them. You can call me whatever you want, but whenever you make up a word, it needs to exclude Jewish people because they're not white, right? There's something else. They say there's something else. They won't let me be an Israeli citizen. So I'm not one of them, which means that they're not one of me. So we're different. And I'm a combination of English, Irish, and German, and a hint of Native American. But I don't think that hint of Native American makes me any less white. I don't look at myself in the mirror and go, oh, I'm a Native American. You know, obviously. I live in a fucking teepee. No. Everybody gets it, you know? And it's this pill-pull hair splitting that people like Owen Benjamin and Vox Day want to do. Vox Day is the most beta person I've ever met in my life. I mean, he can say he's a gamma, a delta, zeta, quadruple echo niner. I don't care what Vox Day says he is. He's not a leader. He's not an alpha. And they keep saying that you can only identify yourself being Christian, which is being smashed right now in the real world and is being led by the Catholic Church. Okay? So I'm not going to identify as a Christian. That's not my identity that walks into the world. Most people who look like me and speak my language have similar values. There's a few fuck-ups in the corner, and we take care of them with the criminal justice system. For the most part, we all get along. It's not us that has a problem. It's people from these other ethnicities that come to the United States and say, I want to be a citizen because I'm fleeing my country, which sucks. It's war-torn. I hate everybody there. I hate the terribleness that all of our leaders have subjected us to. But our people aren't bad because it's just the leadership. And I go, okay, yeah, whatever. And then they go, hey, by the way, you don't need freedoms anymore. You need to be like the country that I just left, like Vietnam, because they got it together. We eat dogs over there, and I hate white people. Eventually, people get sick of this. You know what I'm saying? And they start electing people that you think, oh, well, shit, they're probably going to gas some people, build some gas chambers, and you find out that actually never happened. So what was the real damage in the first place? Why is it a problem to have an identity based on a white heritage of your racial group, the racial group that invented the country that you live in and the systems that you live under, besides the central banking system? What's wrong with that? And when you realize that it's being taken away from you, and if you all got together and said, because of who we are, on our skin color and our background and our race, we don't want you to do that, these people would want to shoot you in the street. Because they'd say, you're the most violent, dangerous people on the planet. And you look around and you go, well, my people built all these giant buildings, these roads. They invented the watch you're using. They invented that calculator. They invented the phone that you're using and the infrastructure to make it work. We invented wireless technology and explored the oceans. The only reason why that would be dangerous is because someone else wants to be in charge. It's okay if you do all that stuff, as long as you give your 30% tax to somebody sitting over in Tel Aviv. And Owen Benjamin doesn't want this to be true, but he gets it but he knows where it leads, and that's why he will tell you that the white people don't exist. Till next time, this is Bill Smith. Thanks for watching.